Hello and welcome to this particular session. We are going to look at what we refer to as format specifiers in C programming. Whenever you have stored your variables, or rather, you have values that are existing in your variables and you need to display those particular values to the screen, you have to provide what we refer to as a format specifier. And a format specifier simply reminds your compiler the type of data that exists in your variable. And so, it enables it to display that particular kind of value onto the screen. Different data types have different format specifiers. For example, if you need to display an integer value, then you have to use this format specifier %d. If you need to display a value that is a floating point, use a %f or a %e. If you're using a long float, use a %lf. If it's a character data, use a %c. If it's a set of characters, use a %s. If it's a long integer, you can use an ld. If it's an unsigned integer, which means you're always dealing with a positive value, you can use a %u. An example, we have stored an age 20 and we would want to display that 20. To display the 20, we need to know the variable name because it's the variable name that contains the value. So if we can have access to the variable name, then we can be able to know the value that has been stored into that. So to display, we are going to use the printf statement, but you have to include what we refer to as the conversion or the format specifier. So in this given case, what we are doing is that we are reminding our compiler that what we are going to be displaying is an integer value. So you have to provide first the conversion specifier or the format specifier within the double quotes, and then you put a comma and then you provide your variable name, and that is going to display for us the value 20. So you need to take note that a %d is used to inform our compiler that we want to display an integer output. Next is this example. We have declared a variable called average mark that is of a data type float, and we have stored that particular mark there. We would want to display that particular mark. As usual, we have said that we need to know what's the name of the storage location that stores our value. And to do that, we are going to use the printf statement. We have to first of all specify the format specifier. Now, the value that we have stored is in decimal place. So we have to use a %f because we want to display a number that is of a decimal nature, and we had declared that number as a float. So use a %f, and then you put a comma and you provide the name of your variable. So this name of the variable is going to give us the value that it has stored in it, and that is what is going to give us there as 57.5. The next one is a character output. We can declare a variable, we are calling it grade. We always put those two square brackets that might specify the number of characters that can be stored in that given case. So in the example that we have here, we have specified a grade of A, and sorry, this is supposed to be a C, it should not be an A, because what we want to display there is a single character. So it should not be an S, it should actually be a C. A %C is used to display a character output. In the event that we were displaying something like a name, Peter, something like a name of a school, maybe Kemathi, then in that given case, we would have used an S. An S implies a set of characters. The next one is a string output. which is simply used when you want to display a set of characters that are more than one. So for instance, we have declared a variable that we are calling it name, and we have assigned it that name called Grace. So to display this name Grace, this is the variable name, but we have to provide a conversion specifier or a format specifier that simply tells us that what we are displaying there is a string. And when you do that, what you're going to find displayed on your screen is the name Grace. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next lesson.